Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Scorpio, that's Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Rising for the month of June 2025. Before I get started, I just want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. I think you're going to like it here. To my tried and true who have been with me for years, thank you so much for walking this rather, interesting path over the last couple of years. And for my new subscribers on my YouTube channel and the membership, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. The more support I get, the more I can give. And I really appreciate you guys doing this for me. There's more deplorables for the basket of deplorables coming in the future, and also more information on people we actually like that bring us hope. So there's going to be more videos including more card readings coming. And for my Patreon people, thank you so much for supporting me over all these years. And we will continue. There'll be more videos, more readings, more to come. So thank you so much for your love, understanding, and patience. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to look at the astrology first. And we're going to look at it as it affects the sign of Scorpio. And I just need to find Scorpio here in my, oh, there it is, right? I was open to Scorpio. Wow, look at that. I'm way ahead of myself. All right. So as we start the month, we of course have the month starting with the sun in Gemini. June is a Gemini month and a Cancer month, right? And so we have the sun start the month in the eighth house. The sun always illuminates wherever it is, and the eighth house is pretty it's the Scorpio house, the natural Scorpio house. You have Gemini on that cusp as a Scorpio rising anyway. And so you actually get a lot of information from that house. With the sun moving through it, it's in a certain way lighting up some of the darker places. Um, the eighth house is issues around shared resources, such as things like Social Security. Um, it's also uh, it's also connected to taxes. If you're a forensic accountant, which is like the perfect thing for a Scorpio to be, this would be a good time where you could actually find some stuff. It's going to be very evident where the problems are. We also have Mercury in that house starting the month. Mercury does move into Cancer relatively early in the month. It moves into Cancer on the 8th, I believe. Hold on. Yep, it moves into Cancer on the 8th, and that's in your ninth house of truth. Um, and of course, Cancer is a fellow water sign, so there's a resonance between your water and the water of Cancer. So it's a little bit easier. There's a little bit easier flow with that. We also have Jupiter in the eighth house in Gemini now. Jupiter's been there for about almost a year, and it's about ready to move out of that house. Jupiter will be moving into Cancer on the 9th. And so we have Jupiter, which will spend a year in that house, in the house of truth. And Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so it's a powerful energy in Cancer in the house of truth and justice. So there will be an expansion of that. It also deals with some legal matters, so we might see more legal matters come to fore with this energy. The sun, of course, in there is going to illuminate the truth. And of course, you're a truth seeker. If you're on the positive side of Scorpio, which if you're watching this, I know you are, because the people on the negative side of Scorpio wouldn't watch this. They wouldn't need this. They would think you know, they have everything they need, or so they think, right? But if you're on the lighter side of things, of course, this is a time of illumination. We have a new moon in that house, so it's a good time to start a project. It is the house of, it's at 5 degrees of Cancer. And we have Jupiter conjoining the sun in Cancer the day before the new moon. So that new moon holds a lot of potential with Jupiter so close. The ninth house is the house of long distance travel. This might be a time when you start to plan a trip that brings you far afield. And with Jupiter there, this is actually a great time to travel far afield. Now, I understand there are issues. You have to be careful, just depending on who you are, you have to be extra careful when you're traveling. Um, Not so much, I think, leaving the country as it is coming back to the country. So just be aware of that. I don't have to tell you, you guys are aware of everything, honestly. You have it. My mother would say they have it all behind their ears. That's what that's how my mother would describe it. We have Mars starting the month in the 10th house. It's in Leo. It's been in Leo for quite a while. In fact, it's been in Leo and Cancer for quite a while because of its retrograde. Now it's moving forward. It's been moving forward since February. It spent the last month moving through Leo. And this month, part of the month it moves through Leo, it moves into Virgo on the 17th. And once it moves into Virgo, it moves into that 11th house. It's moving into Virgo. So the energy of Mars in Leo is like, hear me roar. And Mars in Virgo is watch me work. So you're going to be working the energy. And you are a Mars ruled sign. You have two planets that co-rule your sign, Mars and Pluto. So wherever Mars and Pluto sit, whatever aspects they're making, is significant for you. Now, of course, Mars and Pluto had that opposition, exactly three oppositions within the period of their forward motion, retrograde, and then forward again, right? So that is the two planets that rule you are sort of like this with each other. So you might have had some internal struggles. That's done. That's over. That you've passed that. You passed the test. You get an A. Let's move on to the next lesson. Having Virgo in that 11th house can make you a little, Mars in Virgo, a little picky, a little persnickety. But Mars in Virgo is great at dealing with the details of things. So that should be helpful. It's also the 11th house. Oops, sorry about that. The 11th house is a house of technology. I'm going in the wrong direction here. Is a house of technology. So this might be a good time for you to master some technical skill or invite, you might have already mastered the technical skill, but invite it into to help to bring your goals forward, your goals. Here's Pluto down here in Aquarius. Pluto is going to be down in this house for about maybe another 18 years. So plenty of time. Pluto in that house in Aquarius, your Pluto ruled sign. The fourth house is the house of the soul. Scorpio is the archetype of the soul. This is really deep soul work. Not always fun, but when it's done, when you're on the other side of it, you know you've accomplished something and it feels good. So deep, deep work. And of course, there's no one deeper than Scorpio anyway, so it's not something you're unfamiliar with. We do have a full moon. The full moon happens on the 11th. It's in Sagittarius with the sun in Gemini from the 8th house. So it's the 8th, second house axis. That's the axis of values. And Sag and Gemini is the axis of truth and lies. And so this is about coming to terms with what you have believed to be true, which you may find is actually true, or you may find is actually untrue. But there's definitely an illumination around what's true and what's not true. And it could even be a test of your own values. You're like, oh, I'm like this. And then you have a situation that you work through where you realize, well, maybe I wasn't quite who I thought I was or what I thought I was. Scorpio is all about surrender to to our higher selves. So when in doubt, reach up and reach out to your higher self, and you will be reborn. It is the sign of rebirth. Scorpio is. So I talked about Mars, talked about Sun, talked about Jupiter, talked about Mercury, Venus. Starts the month in Aries. Venus also went through a retrograde cycle at the beginning of the year. She's now moving forward. Last month, she spent the whole month moving forward in Aries after she met up with Neptune, which had just moved into Aries to that degree and hadn't been in that degree for 165 years. So a lot of things have changed since the last time Venus conjoined Neptune at those early degrees of Aries. But Venus in Aries is somebody who's willing to fight for what they believe in. Then what happens is Venus moves into Taurus. That's happening on the 6th, actually. So that Venus in Aries energy is only for the first 5 days of the month. Of course, Taurus is the cusp of your 7th house, which is a house of relationships. And Venus is in its dignity in Taurus, so it likes being in Taurus. So if relationships have been rocky, this is a sign that things should calm down. As long as you have similar values. If you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have the same values as you, it can be difficult. Venus and Taurus can sometimes, like dig their heels in and get kind of stubborn. So you don't always have to be right. You're usually on the right track, but you're not always exactly right. And so we need to be willing to, give a little, get a little, give a little kind of energy. Uranus is still in that house. It will be moving into the 8th house next month, and for a month or so, and then it's going to move back into Taurus, but it's almost out of Taurus. So it's been there for about 7 years now. So it's been rocky. Relationships have been somewhat rocky. This sense of having the rug pulled out from under you. But it could also be surprising relationships that you weren't expecting that ended up being really fantastic. So it's not all bad news. It's just that with Uranus, you never really know how it's going to go. You have to have the experience and then work from that experience. Okay. And I think that's it. I think I covered everything. I'm just double checking as I'm looking around. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, let's get to the cards. All right, so we're going to be using I pulled it out. What I do with it? Hold on 1 minute. I have to find out where I put it. I want to use the Modern Spellcasters. I just have to find where I put it. I thought I brought it right to this desk. Well, if you saw this desk, you'd understand why I can't find anything. If I can find it, I do have another deck, but Modern Spellcasters? No? Yes? Yes? No? Oh, there it is. It's in my giblets bag. It's his tail. All right. Yeah, here we go. Cooking with gas now. All righty. Okay, let's see what's up. We start with the Strength card. Well, nice card to start with. This is a Leo card. This is also located on the Tree of Life right here. And it's connected to the throat chakra. So you're definitely expressing yourself. It is a vibration of as you sow, so shall you reap. So you're aware of that what you're reaping now is because of what you've done in the past. Let's see the challenge to that. We have the Eight of Pentacles as a challenge. Um, the strength card is a very spiritual card in its nature. And the challenge, I think, is to make sure that it's not just the spiritual side of your life that you're attending to, but also the physical side. You need to make sure that you are protecting yourself and your resources. And this could also be health. This could also be health. So you definitely want to make sure that you are taking care. Excuse me a second. I somehow lost you guys. All right, sorry. I clicked something with my thumb and then I couldn't find you. But you never left. All right, so you're at the end of something. Something has come to an end. You've been very brave, but there's a part of your life that's done and over with. Okay. I don't generally remember from month to month, but I do have a memory of Scorpio really having a struggle with something. I felt it was maybe some addiction, and addictions can be physical, they can be emotional, they can be relationship addictions, it can be codependency, but whatever it was, it's done. It's over. It's all over. Let's see in the past. Yeah, you had a tower moment. The thing about the tower moment, it requires us to be ourselves. It requires us to remember that we are spirit having a human experience. And with the strength card coming up as the immediate environment, right? After the pass of the tower, I feel like you have made it through that experience. And you may need to recover. That's what this might be. You may need to recover your strength. And maybe that's what the strength card means too. In the sky, we have fair distribution of resources, so you will get help. If you need help, you will get it, whether it be physical or financial. It's coming to you. It's you have earned it. You have earned it. In the immediate future, and new information coming in, things fast and furious. Um, this is intuitive knowledge. It's intuition. So paying attention to your intuition, seeing things come in. How it's seen from the outside, you're seen as somebody who's always willing to help and might have a streak of idealism in their nature, but well-meaning, definitely well-meaning. Your domestic situation, you need to make a decision. I do feel like you have to watch your back with this decision. You see, now we're not sure if that wolf is her pet or not. So this could be you and your pet, right? Or you need to stay alert. This is saying stay alert, stay alert. Okay. Your hopes and fears. Oh, you want to have a party would be nice, a celebration, a hand fasting even. This is a hand fasting. This is the wedding card. Maybe you're hoping for a relationship, for one with equals, as opposed to that codependent thing I talked about. In the outcome, we get the two of wands. So you're thinking about, you're visualizing your future. You're still you're not quite ready to move through, but you are starting to think about the future in, I think, very healthy ways. I'm going to pick three more, see if I can get a major arcana. We get the Six of Cups. So there's some nostalgia there. You might be spending some time with your family. The King of Wands. King of Wands. And I'll tell you what that means, I think. Oh, and the Knight of Swords. So I feel like, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'll say it. I feel as though you're going to have an opportunity to get together with family. And I would suggest that you listen to the older, wiser person in the family instead of the person who like just jumps into everything. You want the wisdom. You don't necessarily need the adventure right now. I think you need the wisdom. So let's look. We have underneath, we have the Chariot. So things are going to start to move. The Four of Pentacles, that's another thing about protecting your resources. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is also about protecting your resources. So if there's some sort of get rich quick scheme through your family or somebody you know, cousin, and they're like, man, I got this thing on this thing, I would avoid at this point, I would avoid risk. Avoid risk. You're kind of a risk taker, and when it's something that's soul deep, you're willing to fight for what's right. But right now, protect your body, protect your resources, protect yourself, gain the knowledge that perhaps you need, go to the wisdom, go to the elders in your tribe or in your family. And they need to be people who are willing to stand up for what they believe in. And I would avoid this character here, right here. The Knight of Swords. Not always, he's not always somebody you have to avoid, but with all the other cards, it says you need to, you've been through this, you don't need another one of these right away, right? So that's the story of Morning Glories. But I do feel like whatever happened, whatever you've been struggling with now for months and months, finally came to a head and is over. And so you need to rest. You need to take care of yourself. And that's the story. All right. So one more card here. We're going to be picking an oracle card. I'm picking this from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck by, Colette Baron Reed. Beautiful pictures. Beautiful text. I read from the book because it's just so well written. All right. Coy. There is always enough. Coy. Don't be coy. Or maybe be coy. Be like the koi. All right. I'm going to read it to you, and I'll hold the card up so you can see it. Koi. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, koi. Sorry. That was a little cheesy, I think. I know they're symbols of good luck and prosperity. Okay. The koi fish who grows big within a small pond reminds us that within each of us is the potential for prosperity. The law of abundance ensures that prosperity is our natural state. So regardless of temporary outer conditions, you can call prosperity and magnetically attract the opportunities and the abundance you need. The message of koi fish spirit is to begin to generate wealth within with deliberate intention, no matter how small your pond may seem, and appreciate abundance wherever you see it. Outer conditions will come to reflect your inner prosperity, so begin to become the self who is comfortable with wealth in all its forms. Even if at the moment it feels as if riches are not yours, they soon will be. Start to envision the plenty that spirit wants you to experience. Know that the moment you begin to commit to conscious and deliberate co-creation with spirit, spirit will joyfully start bringing in what you need. You have so much to offer. Your protection message is, are you feeling a sense of scarcity, afraid that you will not have enough and not be enough to meet the challenges you face? Whatever your outer conditions, they are temporary and reflecting what was set forth in the past. Koi fish spirit is your ally in changing those conditions by transforming your inner beliefs around scarcity and plenty. So it really is all internal work. So take care of your body. Know that you are abundant and the abundance will come to you. All right, that's story. Have yourself a restful month. Take care, Scorpio. I'll see you again next month for the Tarot Scopes for Scorpio in July. Until then, namaste.